Well, hey everybody, Jim Hall, you ought to know, and we're here in Tustin, California at the Curtain Call Theater, and this is a dinner theater. In fact, all these people right here are enjoying their dinner, getting ready for a great show. It's The Sound of Music here at the Curtain Call Theater, a great dinner theater, and you can look them up online at curtaincalltheater.com. In fact, you can go to our website at odysseytv.org and see all of our shows right here on our website. But we're here in Tustin, California today for The Sound of Music at the Curtain Call Dinner Theater, and we're glad you've joined us for this particular show. We're going to talk to some of the actors. We're going to talk to the director. In fact, we're going to have dinner and have a great time and hope you do it too. Curtain Call Theater is where we are simply because you ought to know. Stay with us, everybody. It's theater time.
So long, farewell, happy to say adieu, 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 to you and you and you. So long, farewell, happy to say goodbye.
Welcome back, everybody. Jim Hall, you ought to know, and we are in Tustin, California, and we're at the Curtain Call Theater, and with me, Johnny, introduce yourself.
My name is Johnny Fletcher. I'm playing Captain Von Trapp in Sound of Music.
Well, The Sound of Music, one of the old favorites, of course, from television so many years, but was a big hit in 1965 in the movies, of course. Julie Andrews and Christopher Plummer, and you're playing the part of Captain Von Trapp.
Correct, yes.
How did you prep for that part?
How did I prep for that part? Well, actually, you kind of said it. Watching the movie helped me a little bit. Christopher Plummer was great at it. And actually, just, I don't know, thinking about the part and what kind of character he'd be and his relationship with his family, and things like that.
Well, when you talk about playing a part like that, I mean, a lot of history to that part, certainly a lot of culture to it.
Very true, yes.
How did you get into acting? Let's start with the basics.
I got into acting, I was about 16 years old. I was going to Modesto High School, and I had a fellow friend who said, hey, we're doing a show, and why don't you come audition for it? And it's a lot of fun, so I gave it a shot, and I've been doing it ever since, nonstop.
What was the title of the first show that you actually acted in?
The first show I actually did was Superman the Musical, actually. Not a very well-known one, but that was my first one to do, actually.
So obviously you do sing.
I do now. I didn't so much then. I kind of lip-synced everything back then.
Okay, so what about training? Has a lot of it been impromptu? Have you done some actual professional training?
Not so much professional training, just really like drama classes in high school and some in college, but really just doing shows, to tell you the truth.
And what about brothers and sisters? Anybody?
Oh, I do have an older sister, and she was into dancing and stuff, and she was a dance teacher. My mother was a dance teacher, but yeah, so I did take some dance classes too.
All right, so you did a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the theater, Curtain Call Theater.
Sure.
The Sound of Music has been here a short time, but the run of the show, what are you expecting audience-wise? What's the reactions been so far?
Great reactions, actually. I've been out in the lobby a lot with a lot of the patrons and everything, and they've just loved it, and they just said how wonderful the production is, and people love Sound of Music, and they seem to really love this production as well.
Now, talk about the production, because getting ready for this before you opened, has this cast been together a short time, a long time? What's the process for getting that show put together?
Well, we have about a 5-week rehearsal process, and a lot of the people, some of the people are returning, and some of the people are new. A lot of the kids are new, because of course, with every new show, the kids get older, so we have to find new kids. But yeah, it's been really great. A great cast to work with.
So you go into rehearsal, 5-week rehearsal. And then how long is the run slated to go at this point?
Usually the run is about 2 to 3 months, and it always can be extended, of course. So for maybe a month or so. Yeah.
What was on the slate for you before Sound of Music here at Curtain Call Theater?
Oh, excuse me. We did Guys and Dolls. I played Sky Masters in that, and that was about a 3-month run. It was very fun, very enjoyable. Yeah.
Now, will you move on from Curtain Call, or will you go into some of the next shows that may come along the way?
I hope to always move on at the Curtain Call. It's my favorite place to work, actually. And but you have to audition for every show, so it just depends on if there's a part for you and if you get hired.
All right. Now, I know Sound of Music is what we've got now. I did see a couple of my favorites coming down the road, so to speak. We know Phantom of the Opera is coming. That's a Wonderful Life will be coming toward the end of the year. I'm sure that'll be for the Christmas season. So will that be something you'll audition for as well then?
Absolutely, absolutely. I've done Phantom here before and Wonderful Life, and I hope to return to those shows for sure, yeah.
Now, the Curtain Call Theater is kind of unique because there's not many dinner theaters left like this in Southern California, right?
That's true. That's absolutely true, yeah.
So what is that like for the patrons? Because the word's getting out. People, this is becoming a popular place to come to. Talk about the whole atmosphere here.
Well, it's kind of neat because, like you said, there isn't a lot of dinner theaters in Southern California, and to be able to come and do two wonderful entertainment type of things, have a good meal, and come to see the show, it's kind of nice. It's in one place, and the atmosphere, just staying in one house and enjoying your evening, not having going anywhere. Yeah.
What about the families? Are you getting all age groups in for this sort of entertainment?
Absolutely, yeah. Sound of Music for sure. I mean, many young kids come to see the show. They love to see kids up there performing as well, and but we get all age ranges and all activities, as in terms of we had an anniversary here the other night, and sometimes birthday parties and things like that.
Now, the Curtain Call Theater, I don't know a lot about the history, but we're in Old Town Tustin if people want to look it up. And in fact, they can come down and actually experience Old Town Tustin. A lot of great shopping, a lot of great things here. And Curtain Call Theater right here in the dead center of it. And the history goes back how far? Do you know?
The history of the theater?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it started like 1980, actually. So about 28 years now it's been here and everything. So.
Now, it's gone through management changes and ownership changes, or so I've heard. And so we've kind of been really following a little bit about Curtain Call. But we had the opportunity to come down and do this particular show. And as we did, found out that the theater has had a vast number of shows in here. I mean, talk about some of those.
Yeah, many shows. Gosh, I can't. I mean, if you're looking on the wall,
titles that you think about.
Oh, titles to think about. Okay, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, Grease, a wonderful show.
Yep.
Let's see, South Pacific, Oklahoma. I mean, a wide range of shows actually.
So you really talk about some of the titles out there. People just, I mean, all favorites of
Yes.
great variety of people.
Yeah, we try to cater to what the people want to see. So yeah.
Well, the Sound of Music, you're getting ready for that. In fact, we're in the dressing room as we're doing this particular interview here at the Curtain Call Theater, and you're getting ready for that performance. Is that something you gear up for every day, or are you just ready to do it?
You got to gear up a little bit for it. I mean, you come in a little early and get your costume on and just get ready to go on stage and have a good performance.
Your opening scene is what?
My opening scene, I guess, when I first walk into the house and I discover that the old governess has left the house and a new governess is arriving soon, which is Maria at the time.
Johnny, thank you so much for talking with us.
Thank
We're
you.
here at Curtain Call Theater in the dressing room, and we're getting ready for showtime just a few minutes away. But we are going to get a chance to talk with the star of the show as well that plays Maria Von Trapp. And, it ends up that way. Eventually. In fact, we've actually done interviews with the actual Von Trapp family, and you may remember those on some of the shows, so it's quite a unique history. People follow it. Why are we here at the Curtain Call Theater? Tustin, California is where we are, simply because, like with every show, you ought to know. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be right back.
The hills are alive with the sound of music, with songs they have sung for 1,000 years. The hills fill my heart with the sound of music. My heart wants to sing every song it hears.
Welcome back, everybody. Jim Hall, You Ought to Know, and we're actually on stage, but the curtain is down and the show hasn't started yet. And with me, introduce yourself.
My name is Heather Stoltzfus.
Say that again?
Heather Stoltzfus.
That even sounds Austrian to me, but you play the part of?
Maria von Trapp.
Yeah, and you come in as a governess. You start off the show arriving from the monastery, yes?
Yes, from the convent.
From the convent, okay. So you come into the show, and people may remember the storyline. Give us a little bit of the storyline, because you come as a governess to how many children?
There's 7 children, and I am sent there to take care of them, and I end up falling in love with their father after I've brought the gift of music back into their home.
Now, can you imagine anybody does not know this story? I'm sure there's people out there.
Sure, but I think most people are familiar with it.
So it is The Sound of Music here at the Curtain Call Theater. Now, let's talk about your background, because you play a role that, it has become one of the more popular roles of all time. People certainly associate that role with, of course, Julie Andrews from the movie. But when the music starts and everything, it kind of takes them back and takes them away, doesn't it?
Yes, of course. That's one of the wonderful things about doing this show, is that it brings back so many wonderful memories for people the first time they saw the show, the movie, and it's wonderful to look out in the audience and see people singing along. At the end, we're doing a reprise of Climb Every Mountain, and that's just a wonderful moment every evening.
Now, again, the same kind of questions that we had for Johnny. How did you get started in the acting realm of wanting to do this?
I also started in high school. I went to Santa Margarita High School, which is a Catholic high school in Orange County, and I was involved in their drama program, and I also went on to do theater in college and postgraduate studies, so I have quite a bit of experience in that aspect, and I've been working here for quite a while also, so I feel like I've had a great education working here.
So you've also been through the realm where you audition for each show that comes along and have played various parts.
Right, yes.
Give me some of the parts that you've played. Of course, Maria in this one, The Sound of Music, fantastic show that we're going to see today. But what other parts have you played?
Let's see. Last year I played Jan in Grease, which was a lot of fun. One of my favorites is playing Anybody's in West Side Story. That's one of my favorite shows. I also really enjoy Evita. I've played the Mistress in Evita a couple of times. And this is my 3rd time doing Sound of Music. My first time I was actually Louisa, one of the children. And this is my 2nd time playing Maria.
So you literally grow into the part, so to speak.
Yes.
Okay, singing, dancing, did you do that? Did you take lessons as a youngster when you were in school, or something that you just developed along the way?
Yes, I took lessons. I definitely took dance classes when I was in school. I definitely took voice lessons. And I studied theater in college. I went to Chapman University, and I went to New York University as well for my graduate school. So I had a lot of wonderful teachers there that I studied with. But I feel like in theater, doing it is where you get the best education, and that's why working here is wonderful. I mean, we perform every week of the year, and that's the best education of all.
Well, a lot of people that perform on stage say every performance is different. Do you feel that too?
Oh, yes, definitely. That's the wonderful thing about live theater, is it's not just about what's on stage, it's about interacting with who's in the audience, and that's what I really love about it.
Yeah, it's just not the same part every day, or the same words, or the same song. I mean, it actually is like performing it the first time.
Yes, definitely. And that's what I really enjoy. It's very exciting.
Now, you have a cast of how many that plays in The Sound of Music for this show?
I think we have about 18 in this show.
So it's a pretty good-sized show, because a lot of them can be as small as 5 or 6 people to carry a whole show.
Oh, sure. Yeah, but this is a larger show mostly because of the family and all the children.
Okay, well, as this story progresses and you're telling it to the audience, tell me about some of the reaction you have felt from the audience here at the Curtain Call Theater.
Well, I feel like the response to this show has been great. It has been very, very good. We've had very full houses, even just right at the beginning, opening up, and people have been very responsive. We hear a lot of applauding, a lot of laughing, a lot of really enjoying the show, and like I said before, the singing along from the audience is my favorite part, because you know that you're really connecting with people at that time.
Well, I've got to ask you also, when you perform before an audience like this, you've got age groups that vary here, probably from 6 to 86, and they all equally like it, don't they?
Right. Well, and the kids really relate to seeing other children on stage, and I love that part because it really opens up a new world for children. There's a lot of children, this is their introduction to musical theater, and I think that's really exciting.
What was the biggest challenge for you here at the Curtain Call so far? Any big challenges you've ever run across? One big giant challenge you may think about?
Well, Sometimes the biggest challenge is doing the show night after night after night and bringing something fresh to it. And sometimes also when you've done a show several times over the years, sometimes it is a challenge to come back in. But, every show has different people in it, and they bring a new energy, and you're always, in the end, able to find that and to overcome that challenge.
Now, how many people, but in particular, let's say the part of Maria, you play Maria. Is there an understudy to you in case you are ill or can't be here?
We do have somebody who's been preparing who would go on in a case of emergency, and usually because we're really a family here, there is somebody around who is familiar with the part, who's either done it before or been in the show before that we can call on. And so usually it's pretty well taken care of within our family.
The show must go on, and how many nights do you normally perform?
We perform 4 days a week, Thursday through Sunday.
Okay, and your Sunday show is a matinee show for people that want to know, correct?
Yes, and we may have Sunday evenings coming up also. At certain times of the year, we have 2 on Sundays.
All right. Well, we're here at the Curtain Call Theater, and you're getting ready. We're just a matter of a few moments away from showtime.
Yes.
Anything special you need to do to prepare?
Well, I'll be putting my wig on next, so I'll need to put my hair up and get ready and start getting dressed.
All right. Thank you so much for talking with us. And again, why are we here at the Curtain Call Theater? Well, as usual, simply because you ought to know. Show's time is coming up, and we're going to get a sample of it. Stay with us. Welcome back, everybody. Jim Hall, you ought to know. I'm in Tustin, California at the Curtain Call Theater, and if you haven't been to Old Town Tustin or Curtain Call Theater, you're in for a huge experience, because Old Town Tustin, great shopping, a lot of great things happening. And the Curtain Call Theater, John, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm John Frolla. I'm the director of theater here. We opened our dinner theater back in 1980, and we've been performing Broadway musicals ever since then.
Well, that's key, because Broadway musicals are certainly a popular thing, and that's what you mentioned goes on here. Right now, Sound of Music at the Curtain Call Theater, but you've had a lot of big titles that have been here performed at the Curtain Call.
Yeah, well, I think probably almost all of the favorite family-type shows, the South Pacifics, Hello Dolly's, King and I's, we've done them all, and usually we've done them more than once. We kind of like doing that.
Now, the theater, you mentioned, opened 1980. Give us some of that history about the theater, or the types of things that have gone on, the ownership and so forth, and what's gone on here at Curtain Call.
What happened was that this used to actually be the Tustin movie house, and so there was a regular old, big old movie house that was here for Tustin people to come see movies. It was then converted into a mini-plex where there was a Cinema 1, Cinema 2, and then from that, back in 1979, it was converted into a dinner theater. Elizabeth Howard and myself, or brother and sister, we came to Tustin here in 1980, took over the facility and made it into the Curtain Call Dinner Theater. And ever since then, we've been doing Broadway-style musicals, and we've been serving dinner, which was a little bit unusual for dinner theaters then, Jim, because most dinner theaters were buffets. We started the concept here in this facility where waiters actually served you, and we've kept that. So we've put together a nice dinner and as good a show as most people will find anywhere.
Well, I know Orange County very well. We do a lot of work down here. A lot of things go on, and I have not been in Old Town Tustin, so it was a surprise to me to get on El Camino Real down here, and to be in the plaza where Curtain Call is. Certainly, and I've had the opportunity now today to experience the food, the theater, the Sound of Music. I got to see the entire cast, and I got to tell you, just number one, class act all the way. From the food, Chef John, I got to meet him, and everybody here just made us feel so welcomed. And I got to tell you, watching the faces of people here, you've got it here. You've got the recipe, certainly.
Well, 3 years ago, Pastor Rich Mathisrud from Main Place Christian Fellowship took over the facility from Elizabeth Howard, and he has maintained the same concept of trying to provide a good evening's dinner followed by a major Broadway musical that you can bring your family to and sit down and feel comfortable, and you'll get it both all in one place at a very reasonable price. So whether it was the older curtain call dinner theater or the new curtain call dinner theater, the concept is the same. Good food and very popular type shows. And we're lucky to have great casts, too, and good cooks.
Well, you have season tickets available?
Right? With something new that we just started, where we've put together a season of shows, and we've kind of left it a little bit loose-ended there. So you can buy 4 tickets, one to every one of the shows that are coming up, or you could buy all 4 for one show. If Sound of Music is the show that you like, then you can just use your season ticket to come 4 times to this show, or 4 seats at this show. So we'll see how that goes. We're trying to do whatever the public is asking us to do, and that they were asking for season tickets, so they got it.
Now, you have a website people can go to buy tickets, get information, look at the shows that are upcoming. What is that website?
That's curtaincalltheater.com, and there are 2 Curtain Call Theater spellings. One is with an ER and one's with a THEATRE. The ER is us, the one here in Tustin, and, well, that'll be pretty apparent when you look at the descriptions of them.
All right. Now, what about a phone number if somebody wants to call, make reservations?
Well, that works, too, and that's my way of making a reservation, is 714-838-1540.
Say again,
714-838-1540. That's right here in Tustin.
All right. We are at Curtain Call Theater here in Tustin, and I want to leave you, John. We're going to finish this episode or this portion of the show. I got to tell you, the show I mentioned being superb. The cast really pulled it off, and the food just fantastic. I mean, you can't beat it anywhere.
Well, if you can get the kind of performers that we have been so fortunate to get, that can pull these famous old shows off, if you can get them to come in and perform here, and we've been really lucky there, then you're on your way.
Well, you're certainly on your way, and I hope you're on your way here to Curtain Call Theater. We're in Tustin, again, on El Camino Real. You can look it up on the internet. Better yet, call the number, 714-838-1540. And I'm going to leave you this segment with a little bit of the performance from The Sound of Music, and that's why we're here, simply because you ought to know. Enjoy, everybody. Well, hey, everybody. I just got to see the best show in town right here in Tustin at the Curtain Call Theater, and I hope you're going to come and see it, too. The Sound of Music here at the Curtain Call Theater, a lot of history, a lot of great performances, and a lot of great food. A dinner theater right here in Tustin, California. And you can go to the website, curtaincalltheater.com. Better yet, go to our website, and you'll be able to see this show at www.odysseytv.org, odysseytv.org. And why did we come to Tustin, California to see The Sound of Music at the Curtain Call Theater? Simply because you ought to know. See you next time, everybody.
So long, farewell, I'll be your say goodnight. I hate to go and leave this pretty sight. So long, farewell, I'll be your say adieu.
Adieu, adieu, to you and you and you.